right, now today in the shop we have a Ryan, this is a pull behind aerator. Looks like this. All right, now I have it hoisted up in the air, but essentially this here connects to a back hitch of your tractor, your quad, whatever you want to pull it with. And today we're gonna be taking a look at the tines and how to change these and when to change them and so forth. Now over here I have some new ones you can see. All right, if you take a look at the old tine, you can see, I mean, how much longer that is. All right, now a good rule of thumb is when these things wear down at least about an inch, you should probably change them. Now you can change out one here and there. I typically recommend saying you just put all, if you're going to change, if they're this bad all the way across, I would change them all. They're only about $5 or $6 each, depending on where you get them. And also, when you look at your tines, you can see on this tine here, how the metal is bent over here. This is what actually pulls the dirt up and creates your plug on the ground. All of these on this are busted off. So this really isn't doing anything other than, I mean, it's going to poke some holes in the ground, but you're not going to get any plugs. There's nothing here to actually pull the dirt back up. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to change out all the tines on here. And some of the other ones are bent and twisted. I mean, this just isn't doing anything for the customer at all or your yard. It's actually just going to create more problems. It's going to really dig up the turf. All right, so we're going to change these out. And another thing, what you want to do is when you're servicing these, you want to make sure these things are greased. Each one of these rotators here will have a grease fitting on them. I don't know if you can see that one there. And just spin the other one around, and you'll see the other one on there. So each one is going to have a grease fitting on it. And you want to make sure you keep those things greased because you really don't want to have to replace one of these. It's expensive. The machine itself probably runs in the area of around $4,000 or $5,000 for you to buy it new. But when you got to start replacing these, you might as well just buy a new machine. We're going to cover changing these. That's where you would grease them. And if you had to take these rotators off, I'm not going to get into that today, but basically you're going to have to take off your forks here, holding your wheels on each side to be able to get your shaft out of there. All right, so let's jump into it on how to change these tines. It's really simple. It's just going to be a 9/16 socket and a 9/16 wrench. When you put these in, now you're probably going to have a bunch of tines on your unit already that you're going to use as a reference. You can see that these actually have a curve to them, all right, and that's the way that they come new. So if you're getting a unit like this and you see that they're curved and you think that maybe they're bent, they're not. They come with a curve to them, all right. But if you're getting a unit that has no tines on it and you're not sure how to put them on, you definitely, the way that the rotator is going to go, as this is being pulled on your unit, it's going to spin this way. So you want that curve going down like that. So it's actually digging in. You don't want to put them in upside down or you're just going to be flinging dirt and really tearing up the property. All right, so it's going to be rotating this way. We want our curve going that way. You can see I have all of these pretty much soaked right now. So there's a lot of nuts and bolts to take off of here. So just take a second, spin this around and hold the PB blaster there as it's spinning. It's going to make it much faster to get them all lubricated. And then do the same thing with the other side. Just spin it, hold the can up there, spray all your nuts and bolts. Let all them soak as you're working your way down. They're going to be a lot easier to get off. It's hard to get your large impact gun, your big impact gun in here. So plan on getting a smaller impact with a shorter socket that will allow you to get in there. It's going to be kind of a challenge with just 2 wrenches because this is going to want to spin on you if you have in the air. So you would need to drop it down on the ground and get a leverage bar to try to pull up on these. But there's a lot of them. So I would keep in mind, if you don't have one of these little air tools to get in there, maybe go borrow it from a friend. It'll save you a lot of headache from sitting here using a leverage bar on every single nut. Do not use a swivel. That's what I wanted to say. Working at a lot of golf courses, I've seen guys, they only had the big gun. They try to put a swivel in there and the swivel just goes flying all the time, hitting people in the face, smashing your knuckles. Do not use a swivel in here. Get an air tool small enough to fit in here. Taking this off, I'm going to use my impact on this side. And on that side, once I free up my hand, I will put the 9/16 wrench. And you're going to take off that first bolt, and then we're going to take off the top bolt. With the bracket loose, you can be able to pull that tine right out. Now take note of that hole that you have in the side of the tine there. Basically, on this bracket here, if you look underneath, see? That's where it recesses into that hole. So it kind of, when that pushes against the tine, it kind of keeps that tine from coming out. So let's turn that, and we're going to slide that up. See how that locks in there? So you're just going to have to hold that together when we put this back on the machine now. You could always hold the bracket up there and slide the tine in after. But there it is, it's up there. And just put your nuts back on here, tighten them up, and that's it. I mean, that's all it is to replacing the tine. And there it is with the tine back in there. I still got to tighten it up, but just so you can kind of see how much longer that is than the other ones. It shows you how much wear that they go through. So it doesn't make sense to change just a couple of these. I feel like the machine would just be bouncing all over the place. And that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple. Please, guys, hit subscribe below, give me a like, and I'll see you next time.